So let's get started here, everybody. We are going to do some speaking practice today. And before we start, I want to just double check that we have our homework done, and I want to go over these 2 warm-up questions on your whiteboard. Just to let you know, in the chat box, I have posted some information about the South Campus bookstore. If you're still looking for our textbook, you can call Roman Coronado 817-515-4123, and he's aware of our situation, and he can let you know how many copies of the book are available there. So you guys hopefully can get your books today or tomorrow if you still need it. So let's look, yeah, no problem. Let's look at the warm-up together. The 3 major parts of a speech presentation. Now, where are we getting this information from? If you look at page 30 in your book, and I also put this same page in the PowerPoint presentation. That's in the Blackboard Lessons folder. If you look at the most recent PowerPoint that I posted there, it has a page of this. It's page 30 in your book.
The people in the back of the room.
And we've got the 3 parts of the speech that are listed on the blue side of the box. So you guys put, say, Carolina, you put introduction, body, and conclusion. Yeah, I think that's good. And it is also the same 3 parts of a paragraph and an essay. So let's talk for a minute about what we do in each part of the speech. So what do we do in the introduction? Who can tell me about that part?
It's when you write what are you talking about in the next paragraphs in the body. Like
Yeah.
a main idea.
Right. But remember, we're not writing, we are speaking. But
yes, I'm sorry.
But you're correct. So when we have that first part of our speech, we need to give the main idea of our speech, which means we need to make sure that we say in one sentence, we say what our speech is about. Okay? We don't really need to say, I'm going to tell you, or I'm going to talk about, or we don't need to say, like, I'm going to do this, but we can just say, there are 3 reasons why animals should not be used for work, or there are a few places that I think are good for animals to work. You know, it's one sentence and it's very clear and simple. So we want to have that in our introduction, or in your book they call it just the main idea. Okay. And let's talk about the body. In your book it calls it supporting details. Supporting details. So Lan, what do we do with the supporting details? What does that mean?
Yeah, supporting detail is mean many sentences that explain the main idea, explain the main idea, like I have a sick cat, and then main idea, and then I love them, I pet them, that mean sporting
Okay.
detail.
Right. You are exactly right. Supporting details is when we explain more about our topic. So we're going to give specific examples and reasons that is going to directly support our topic. So very good. And what's included in the supporting details? We have to have some important words or signals. What are they called?
They call summarize.
Summarize?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the body.
Oh, the body.
Yeah. What are the important words? that we need to use in the body of a speech? They're on page 31 in your book, in the orange box.
Another point that, or furthermore,
Yeah,
furthermore, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They're called signposts. Signpost, which is another word for transition signals. Words like first, secondly, finally, okay? By the way, the word finally, if I'm using finally in my speech, do I need to put my conclusion after finally?
Yes,
How do
you
I
can
use
put
finally?
after. You can put up conclusion after finally.
No, we're going to use it in the
Sorry,
body of the speech, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a big, no, a lot of students think that. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, finally means I'm going to summarize. Like, for example, if I say, finally, these are the reasons why animals should not be used for work. No, we cannot say that. If we're giving a conclusion or a summary, we need to say in conclusion or to summarize or in short. But finally, we use this in the supporting details or the body section of the speech. And this is going to signal that we are about to say our last point, our last reason, or our last example or detail. Okay, so in our speech, we might have 3 reasons for something. So for the first reason, we might say, okay, first of all, right? First of all, and then we share that. The second one, we can say secondly, and then the third one, we can say finally, or we can just say third, or third of all. Okay, does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. All right, so then we just briefly mentioned the last part of a speech presentation is our conclusion or the summary. And for this, we just need to make sure that we are restating the main idea, okay? So let's go to number 2. What are signposts? So this is again on page 31 in your book. And you guys gave some good examples. First of all, secondly, last, in summary, for example, yeah. And then somebody put the signpost should show that when you stop and when you continue. So what does that mean? Whoever wrote that, can you explain that?
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, because in my mind, I think that's like first of all, and first of all, that what you when you introduce something,
Mhm.
and I said that to show that when you stop and when you continue is mean you like finally like second and then you continue at another point and
Okay.
it's finally and then you almost stop and then you want to do a conclusion. I'm just thinking about that, sorry.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Basically,
Yeah,
you're saying it's a transition between ideas. It's like when you're stopping one thing
yeah,
and you're starting a new thing. Like you're finished with your first reason, you want to go
yeah,
to your second reason.
yeah,
That's right. So signpost is another word for signal.
yeah,
A signal to say, okay, guys, I'm about to change my my point or my idea. I'm moving to the next one. That's correct. Good job, Lon. And then somebody put here, the purpose is to make your contents clear. And that's correct. It's so much easier to understand a speech when the person is using signposts. Okay. That's good. Okay, guys. Ladies, any question? Any questions here?
No.
Okay. So what about in your book? Because I know we did not have our video lesson on Monday. So I gave you guys a PowerPoint to look at and some work to do in the book. So I just want to double check if anybody has a question about pages. Let's see, you guys did pages 26 to 30. Pages 26 to 30. Anybody have questions? Okay, everybody good with that. By the way, the answers are in the PowerPoint presentation. The answers for 26 to 30, page 32, if anybody needs to go back and check your answers. Okay, today is actually our last day to look at chapter 1 because next week on Monday we're going to begin chapter 2, and the topic is the environment. We'll talk about ways to conserve energy and reduce global warming effects and pollution and all that. So for chapter 1, what I like to do at the end of every chapter is to practice speaking a little bit about one of the topics that we covered. So we have two ways that we can check our speeches. Look at page 33 if you have your book, and there's a task checklist. Okay, if you don't have your book, I have something else we can use here. I'm going to pull it up on my screen. Okay, it comes from the lab assignment page that I posted a couple of weeks ago, which, by the way, your lab assignment is due this Friday. Okay, so at the end of class, if you're still confused about this, you're not sure what to do, make sure you ask me before we leave the class. Okay, but on the bottom of the lab assignment, you can see there's a speech checklist. And we can use this speech checklist, or we can use the one on page 33. They're almost the same. Okay, so what are we doing when we have a checklist? Why do we need this? Does anybody know?
To organize the topic, the information that we are going to talk about.
Yeah, that's good. Basically, to help us make sure we put all the important things in our speech and we don't forget something, right? So in the book, they say that here's the checklist. You use transition words, use modals for necessity and advice. That's not really that important to me, so I crossed that one out. But you do need to say the main idea. That's important. Use appropriate intonation in lists. And we practiced that a little bit. That's when your voice goes up and then it goes down when you're finished with a list. And then in the book, it also says support your points with examples and use signposts. So we can use that one as we're listening to our classmates, but we can also use this one that I have on the screen. I have just 4 simple things. Did the speaker state the main idea? We can put in the blanks yes or no, or we can check it, yes. Did the speaker state 2, 3, or 4 supporting points? If they did, we can check that. And then, did the speaker have a conclusion? If yes, we can check that. And then the last one is that did the speaker use signposts or signals between their points? Okay, so this is our checklist. As we're listening, I want you guys to listen for these 4 things, okay? Now, we only have 3 students in the class today, so can you guys tell me, is anybody ready to practice their speaking, to speak about one topic from chapter 1? Is anybody ready today?
Me, teacher.
Okay, Carolina, you're ready. Anybody else want to practice today?
Me, teacher.
Okay, good. Lucia?
Mm-hmm.
And what about
I
you,
think
Mon?
I'm ready.
Good. Well, I'm thankful that we have some some people who are ready. Those who are not here in our video chat today are going to do their speech in the Go React practice speech assignment. So it would be great if you guys on Friday could go and check that practice speech just to listen to other classmates and give comments. Okay, because remember, we want to talk about these 4 things. We want each student to be able to speak and do these 4 tasks in every speech that we give in this class. Okay, so this is our first one. It's okay if you miss some of these points on our checklist. All right, the purpose of this class is to help you feel more comfortable and make it more natural for you to speak and do these things. The only way you can do that is by practice again and again, okay? So we are ready to begin. Let me see. So what I want to do, if you guys could take a picture of this checklist, or you can use the one on page 33. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to turn on our video, go back to the collaborate screen because I see you as you're talking, okay? So I want you to take a picture of this checklist and then on a piece of paper you can write the speaker's name and then you're going to just check, you know, first, second, third, and fourth if they did it, okay? Does everybody know what we're doing? Any questions?
No, teacher.
So we are looking for things. And as you're listening, it's really important that you listen well, okay? Because we're going to help the speaker. Okay, so who wants to go first? Carolina, do you want to go first?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, now before we start, I want everybody to, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to mute Alan's microphone. Yeah, so we just have Carolina speaking. Okay, so go ahead, take your time, and just start whenever you're ready.
Teacher, but I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we read?
Okay, that's a good question. What do you think? What do you think about reading?
I don't know.
It's better if you talk, just talk all that you remember about your topic.
Yeah,
You know?
it's better if you can kind of do it naturally, but nobody should ever memorize a speech. Memorization is way, way, way out of what we're trying to do. We're trying to be natural, but we also want to be organized. So my suggestion is this: have a little post-it note or something and make sure you have your main idea, and then just put a couple of words of, okay, I want to, this is my first reason. I want to talk about, animal cruelty. And my second reason, I want to talk about, circus animals or whatever it is. Write a couple of notes, but everything you want to say should be on a small piece of paper, not like the whole every sentence, because if you try to read, then your voice will not be natural.
Okay, teacher, can I do the video?
The video. but oh no,
Yes, teacher, I
Teacher,
think I'm
because
not
we
ready.
shy, teacher, because we shy.
oh, because did you write everything on paper? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can do whatever you feel comfortable with. If it were me, I would just try, even though I have everything written down, I would try to look at the screen and then look a little bit and keep going. But it's up to you how you want to do it. It's just practice.
Okay, teacher, I think I'm gonna do the video.
Okay. So
Okay.
Lucy, you want to try?
Yes, teacher, I would like to try. If if I am bad, I would like to make a video also. I don't know if it's
Hey, that's
possible.
a good idea. You can try to improve it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
go ahead. Go ahead. The purpose is just for me to give you feedback and help. So,
okay,
so go ahead, Lucia.
okay. I choose the topic. What are some reasons in favor or against using animals for work? We know that in the past, animals worked very, very hard with humans. At the beginning, they helped us develop civilizations like Greece, like Egypt, like Roma also. And um, these animals uh, lead human evolution. Um, they they also help humans survive. Uh-huh. Oh, what else? So, in my opinion, animals have been very important in very important for humanity. Um, However, they were not treated fairly, nor as were they properly cared for. So, um, even now, many people still continue working with animals, and they are taking also many advantages of them. My main argument is that we can still continue working with animals as long as we take care of them. For example, if we are using animals or if we are using animals as entertainers, uh, we we need to offer them to live in in good conditions. Or we secondly we um, we need to offer them not work for a long hours, and finally not leave them if they are sick, or if they are being old, or if they are old. And another point is that we need continue respecting we need continue respecting laws that stop stop animal suffering. We need to continue with this. We need to continue practicing to respect laws. On the other hand, we come to invite more people to create organizations in order to get money or capital that helps animals. For example, we need to consider animals that are at risk, at risk of disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, what else? Finally, we have to consider that many animals also need humans for survival. Um, for example, all the animals that are domesticated. And in conclusion, we need to build a collective. We need to build a collective awareness awareness of
Mm-hmm.
the importance that of the importance of animals in our life. Um, that's it, teacher. That's
Okay, good job. Good job,
it.
Lucia.
Yeah.
That was 4 minutes and 52 seconds, so it was a little bit under 5 minutes. That's pretty good. That was on the longer side of speeches. For these speeches for our class, they can be between 2 and 5 minutes. So I think you did great. Okay, I'm interested in what Carolina and Lan, what you two put on um, your checklist for Lucia. Remember, we talked about the 4 parts of a speech or 4 things she needed to do. So, Lan, let's start with you. Did you hear her main idea? Lan, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Um, Sorry. I'm not here. Not here. Not heard
Oh,
about her
you
very
didn't
clearly.
hear.
Yeah.
You didn't hear.
Yeah. I'm trying to listen, but um, I am not good at with another accent like it. I'm her good like
Oh,
you or in the video or radio. I'm very good, but with the classmate, it's just hard for me, teacher. Sorry.
okay. Yeah, no problem. No problem. So her beautiful Spanish accent was difficult for you to, and that's okay. And we don't have subtitles for this, so it kind of makes that harder too. That's okay. What about Carolina? Did you have anything that you checked on your checklist for her?
Yes, teacher. She gave the supporting points, the conclusion, and she used signposts, and she gave the main idea.
Okay, and here's a harder question, Carolina. What was her main idea? You remember?
That she's like against of using animals for work.
Okay, she's against. Is that true, Lucia?
Oh, yes, maybe I tried to give details why I agree in using animals for work, and on the other hand, that if we take care of them, we can use for work. But maybe I am not very clear. Mm, I don't know. Maybe it was a little confused.
Okay, so this is a really great practice speech for you, Lucia, because I really like a lot of your sentences. You shared a lot of examples, and then you also kind of talked about two sides. Sometimes
Yes.
it's good to use animals, sometimes it's not. And Carolina, I'm really glad you said that too, because it was kind of hard for me to identify the exact main idea in one sentence because I heard like a lot of different things. I heard you say that animals are very important for humanity, and so I thought, okay, that might be the main idea. But then you talked about how the animals need to be cared for, and if they're old or sick, that humans need to take care of them, kind of a thing. So it was kind of like, wait, what exactly is the main idea? And that, I'm glad you kind of did that because it's a good time for us to focus on that. So in your next speech, make sure you give one sentence that's very clearly the main idea. So for example, you could say, I do believe it's good to use animals for work, but only in a good way that benefits the animals. And there are a few ways that we can use animals, but we need to be careful, or something like that. And then in your conclusion, make sure you say it again. For these are several ways that we can use animals for work. But remember that we need to make sure that their welfare is taken care of, or something like that. That would help us as listeners to catch it and then catch it again. Okay, that's the main idea. Oh, and she said it again. So now it's clear.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so that is one thing that you can work on for your next speech.
Okay.
Okay, keeping that main idea very clear in one sentence. All right. Um, and yes, you did have support. I heard a couple of different supporting points. I cannot remember all of your supporting points, but I remember you saying things like also and finally, okay, but I just don't remember what the points were. So, as we go through this class, we're going to work on keeping the main idea and the points very clear and simple. First of all, animals should be taken care of. And then you give examples. I don't agree with using animals in a circus. I don't agree with abusing animals, blah, blah. Secondly, I think or whatever, it needs to be simple. Those signposts, when they're used in a sentence, they need to have a simple point. First of all, I believe animals should never be abused. And then you explain why. Secondly, we can use animals, but they need to, I don't know, whatever. you know, uh, so keeping those supporting points clear will really help us to remember your points. So this is a really good lesson for all of us because when you're giving a speech, the most important thing is that the listeners can remember your main idea. And then the second most important thing is they can remember most of your supporting points. So that is the goal of your speech, to help the listeners remember what you said. Okay?
Okay, teacher,
Yeah.
thank you.
So you did great. I did hear a conclusion and some signposts. Let me tell you a little bit about pronunciation. You said, I think, wait, you said they are taking advantages of them. And when we say taking advantage of, we never have an S on advantages.
Okay.
Even if
Advantage.
we have several ways that they're doing it, we still say they are taking advantage of them. No S on advantage.
Okay. Advantage of,
Okay, so that was good. And then I put animals could be used humanely for work. Humanely is a good word for you to use in your speech. And then you said animals need humans for to survive, or you said for survive, but we need to say animals need humans to survive.
okay,
Need humans to survive.
okay,
And then the last correction or feedback I'll give you is the pronunciation of awareness.
okay, yes. I
Okay, you
found a difficult word. I was
remember that word?
practicing in the morning. What awareness? Difficult for me. Awareness.
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 Awareness. Okay, and I typed it in the chat box. Awareness, animals need humans to survive, and then taking advantage of them. So no S on advantage. So this is how I like to give feedback when you speak. I like to give you, very specific things to help you improve your speech. And I also like to help you with pronunciation, sentence structure, and that kind of thing. So good job, Lucia.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. I think I speak very slow,
Yeah.
very slow, but my daughter always tell me, "Mom, you need to sing a song. You need to sing in English,
Yeah.
and then you can speak faster."
Yeah. Maybe that helps. I don't know. Okay, so good, Lucia. So now we're going to listen to Lan talk about a chapter one topic. So, Lucia, if you have your checklist of those four things, I want you to listen to Lan speaking and then be ready to check it. And Carolina, you too, you can help with the
Oh,
checklist. Okay? Are we ready, Lan?
um,
And remember, mistakes are good. I want to hear
yeah,
lots of mistakes.
teacher, I'm sorry, I have no idea. Uh, I'm, I'm, I didn't ready, but I want to you I want you feel class because you teach me 2 weeks already, but I nothing for say that make you feel not good. That's why I want to try to talk something about
Yeah.
animal. Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I'm not ready yet, but I try.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes,
no problem.
yeah. Thank you. Uh, my topic is we should love animal and take care of them. Yeah,
Okay.
we should love animal and take care of them. Um, First of all, I think animals have the feeling like humans. Uh, they have family, they have dads and mom and children, and then they love each other a lot in their families. Sometimes I saw the mom and take care for the baby. I
Mhm.
feel like the human mom and the baby take care and love a lot in love.
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh, but sometimes, uh, and however, I learned the topic that no, I learned a chapter talk about animal, and I know that lot of sea ice habitat that made
Mhm.
me feel sad because animals like polar bear, polar bears, mm,
Mhm.
uh, something like threat them. Yeah, threat them. The feel.
Mhm.
Yeah, they don't have good environment. They don't have enough food, and they feel like that. That made me hurt.
Mhm.
That's mm, and and I think everybody should do something like you cannot take care of them, but you can save. You can change like your life. Don't use
Mhm.
too much electrician, or don't use too much gas, because we always have too much conditions. Everything people just want to very comfortable, and they use too many. And now I know that in the road, in the trees, many cars, a lot of cars, and a lot of, and more house, and they use a lot of
Mhm.
like water, gas too much. That made the habitat very not good now. Mm, and and
Mhm.
if I have the another advice, I I want to advise people around me that just eat without meat or fish. Mm, I don't know why, but when I saw the humans kill or uh, abandon the animals, that made
Mhm.
me feel very sad. Yeah,
Okay.
because I just love the people who love animal a lot. Yes. Sorry, I just say that.
Okay.
I
Are
yes,
you
yeah,
finished or
yes,
not?
yeah.
Finished?
Um, yeah, I'm finished. I don't have
Okay. Good job, Lan.
Thank you.
Good job. It sounded like a natural speech, which I like. I really
Yeah,
like just your natural kind of way of talking and
yeah,
sharing. That was about 4.5 minutes. So
yeah.
that was a pretty good length of
Thank
a
you.
speech. I like that. Okay, so let's go to Carolina or Lucia. Can either of you share about your checklist? What things did you check off?
Secret, I can hear it land very well, but um, I I'm sorry. Mm, I think that she showed or shared us her feelings about take care about of take care animals,
Mm-hmm.
and um, they talking about animal habitats.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They she talked about animal feelings because they also suffer if they when they are abandoned,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I got catch up. I don't know. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that
yeah. But
she
you're right.
mentioned that she mentioned that
Yeah.
she feels sad when she
Yeah,
saw animals abandoned also.
Good.
I'm really sorry, but I can understand very well.
Yeah.
I couldn't understood very well. I'm really sorry.
Thank you for listening to me. That what
Yes,
I want to say. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Lan has a beautiful Vietnamese accent. So,
yes,
some of the things that are hard for Vietnamese speakers is the sh sound
Yeah,
and pronouncing those consonants like the T, the S. Sometimes they just
I'm Lord.
forget those.
Yes.
But yeah, everybody has a wonderful accent, so it takes time to get used to listening. But I'm sure by the end of our class, you will be able to understand Lan a little better. I
oh,
understood almost every word that she said, but I practiced a lot listening to different accents. So,
yes.
so
For me, it's the first time that I listen.
right.
Yeah, persons like the land. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, but Lucia, you did great. You got some of her main points about the importance of animals and how we need to take care of them and protect their habitat. She talked about that. So that's good, Lucia. Carolina, I'm interested in what you heard or checked on your checklist. Do you want to share anything, Carolina?
Yes, I checked that she gave the main idea and
Hmm.
supporting points because she gave the reasons why she loved animals, and I, I think she gave a conclusion.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the conclusion was, but maybe it was in there. Okay. And Carolina, what about signposts?
I didn't heard the signpost.
Didn't hear anything. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Lan, did you say things like first of all or also or in addition?
I just said the first time with first of all, that's
Okay,
right. Yeah, that's just one time, and then
just
I'm just
one.
yeah, and then I try to to, to do try to say, and then I forgot the grammar.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a good point because remember what I said at the beginning that I really liked how Lan used just a natural kind of speaking.
Yeah.
And so we're going to learn in this class how to do both. We want to do a natural kind of speaking, but we also want to have some organization and some, structure. Like first of all, also in addition. So it takes time to learn how to do both of those at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if we're just talking with friends, we don't use signposts. We don't use a summary and main idea. But when we're giving a formal speech, we want to use those. So in our class, we're going to try to balance those two and make them work together. So Lan, that's good. You did one signpost, but next time we can work on those.
Yeah.
That's something for us to work on. Okay, thank you, Carolina, for your comments. So here's what I heard. I heard the main idea is we should take care of animals.
Yeah.
Okay, so I clearly heard that sentence, which is good. And then for your support, I remember you said animals are kind of like humans. They
Yeah.
have families, they have feelings.
Yeah.
That was one of your points. So that's a good. If I can remember it, then that's good. It shows that you were clear about that. And then I also wrote that you said sometimes humans cause too much loss of habitat for animals. Like our influence is too much. Like with electricity, with homes, with building, we are causing a loss of habitat. So I'm going to write that in the chat box. for you, Lan. Something maybe you could say differently in your next speech. So I put too much human influence causes a loss of animal habitat. Too much human influence causes a loss of animal habitat. So that was basically one of your points, but you were kind of saying it in a lot of different ways. But you were talking about how, buildings and homes, electricity, all of that is causing animals to lose their place in the world. And then I want to say too, another thing that you could say is polar bears are threatened. Can you say threatened?
Threaten.
Yeah, threatened.
Threaten.
It's kind of hard to
Threatened.
say it. It's like
Yeah.
at the end, it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
threatened. Polar bears are threatened.
Yeah.
That was one of your points. And then I want you to work on the SH sound because you were saying should.
Should.
Good. There you go. We need to give it a good should.
Should.
Yeah,
Should.
don't say it like a S, like
Yeah.
should. It's
Should.
got to be should.
Should.
And then another word, electricity.
Yeah.
You said electrician.
Yeah. Electricity.
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 Yeah, there you go. Good.
Thank you.
And then my last point is at the end of your speech, you were talking about not eating meat or fish.
Good thou. No, I'm just like good
I like that.
advice.
Yes. And so I want to add a sentence that might make it clearer.
Yeah.
Meat or fish. So I'd like to advise people to not eat meat or fish.
Yeah. I like to advise people
Mhm.
to not eat meat or fish.
Yeah, there you go. So basically, you are you a vegetarian or
Yeah.
vegan?
Yeah. Vegan.
Yeah, this is a good point. Let's talk about this just for fun for a minute.
Yeah.
What's the difference? What's the difference between a vegetarian and vegan?
Vegans, it means you don't eat something like dairy products like milk, cheese, ice cream. No animal involved.
Right,
But yeah, vegetarian is no meat, no fish, but you
right,
still drink milk or ice
right,
cream, cheese.
right. Okay, so that's correct. Vegan is more strict. Vegans do not eat any animal products. So no eggs, no
Yeah,
cheese, no ice cream, no dairy products,
yeah,
because those come from animals.
yeah.
But
Teacher, I have a
vegetarian,
question.
yeah, go ahead, Lucia.
Yeah, for Lan, I'm sorry. How can you get the protein of all of these products like the milk, like the eggs, like
Like,
meat?
how can you get the nutrients, the
Yeah, the
calcium and the
yeah,
protein
the milk.
if
Oh,
you eat,
Yes,
yeah, if you're vegan?
yeah, because you are vegan.
yeah,
How can
it's
you?
very easy. uh, in the morning, you just like oatmeal or bread, bread. Yes, yes, with some butter, like peanut butter.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
and with the like tomato, um, I'm usually eat oatmeal a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm look healthy, and I'm just 43 years old, but I'm very healthy, and I
Wow.
work for 13, 14 hours a day. But I meditation a lot. If
Yeah.
you don't, if you just eat simple milk, you have to your mind very clear and don't thinking a lot like monkey mind. No, 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 think too much.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying it's easy for you to be vegan and get
Yeah,
your nutrients because a lot of plant foods have protein and calcium also. Broccoli has a lot of calcium and
yeah,
also kale.
yeah,
Like 1 cup of kale has the same calcium as a cup of milk.
yeah. You're right.
So people don't realize that calcium, protein comes from vegetables and fruit. Vegetables,
But protein and calcium in nuts that very good than
nuts,
yeah
nuts. Yeah.
nuts very good than protein and calcium in the fish or meat because
Yeah.
meat and because animal like cow and pig pig like they just eat grass or eat nuts
Right.
like rain why we don't eat from natural like them we, when we eat from them we eat from them and then eat just natural we
Yeah.
you know
So
what I mean
she's saying that like cows eat grass
yeah
'cause cows are vegetarian,
yeah
but they have all this protein, they have all of this muscle
yeah
in their bodies, but they only eat grass.
yeah
So like we as humans, we can eat just plants and we
yeah
can still have muscles and be strong and yeah.
you're right that I
Yeah,
mean yeah
I'm not a vegan, and
yeah
but I'm trying to be more like a vegetarian. So
yeah
I only eat a little bit of meat, maybe
yeah
once a day, or I don't like to eat like red meat, so I eat
yeah
fish.
yeah
But it's hard.
yeah
It's hard. I tried to be a vegan for 3 days, and then I said, "Oh my God." I was just tired. I was like, I'm missing something. And then I had some chicken nuggets. I was like, yeah. So I don't think my body is ready, but somebody told me that you have to do it slowly.
yeah you're
You have
right
to do it slowly to build up your stomach and your intestines. They have to adjust to your diet. So you
hmm
can't just like one day be a vegan.
yeah but I really like your body Hannah yeah
Thank
yeah
you.
yeah you think
Yeah, Lan has had me for another class, so she
yeah
knows what I look like.
yeah
Yeah, people ask me a lot. They're like, "How do you have 3 kids?"
yeah
Because I weigh about
yeah
115, 120 pounds, and they're like, "How do you have kids and stuff?" But you know, 90% is what goes in your mouth and what is very important what you eat. And then like 10% or 20% of my life is like focused on exercise.
yeah
But yeah, Len, you and I are similar in that way. I really do think we eat as a society, we eat too much meat, too many animal products.
yeah
Um, but anyways, that's another topic, another day. Len,
yeah
I think you should do a lab assignment about being vegetarian or vegan. Like that would be good. So you can educate us, watch a video or something about being a vegan or vegetarian,
Mm,
and then do a speech and put it in Go React.
yeah
That would be really
Yeah, I
good. So
agree.
yeah thank you
we can
I
continue.
agree.
So yeah. So good job, Len. Good job on your speech. Does anybody have questions or anything else before we do a quick little listening activity? Any any questions about speaking or your speeches? Everybody feel good about it? Yeah, go ahead.
We're going to make another speech for this, no, for tomorrow, right? Another speech.
You do not need to do a speech again for chapter 1, because you get to choose either the practice speech in Blackboard or speaking in our class right now. So you don't have to do another one. The only thing you need to do is the lab assignment. And for the lab assignment, yes, you have to speak.
Okay.
Okay, but the lab assignment is different.
Yeah, it's about the video that we are listening.
Right.
Yes. Okay, I got it. I got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Any other questions or comments before we practice some more? Okay, so I have one more thing that we can do before we go today. If you look in your book on page 34 and 35, and let's see, how can we do this? Let's see. Page 34 and 35. If you don't have your book, you can just write down the page number, page 34 and 35. And what we're going to do for one more speaking practice activity is we're going to listen to a professor talking about how to give a speech. Okay, so it says, there's a chart on the page that says, when giving a presentation in front of a class, you should, and then it has a couple of things that you should do. So what we're going to do, if you don't have your book, I just want you to listen for what we should do when we're giving a presentation. Okay, so I'm going to write that for you in the chat box. Okay, what should we do when we give a presentation? We're going to listen to someone talking about that. So if you have your book, then I want you to be on page 34 at the top, and you just need to check according to what you hear. Okay, if you have a question about what we're doing, then you can ask. I'm about to get our audio track here. Okay, so I'm going to, yeah, go ahead. You have a question?
No, teacher. I don't have.
Okay. Okay, so here's our listening practice for today. There's nothing here.
Today I'm going to give you
There you go. Okay, so we're just listening and we're kind of taking notes about what we hear. So this is 2 minutes long. Here we go.
some advice for your presentations in class. Today I'm going to give you some advice for your presentations in class. It's normal to be nervous when you have to speak in front of your class, but there are a few things that you can do to help yourself and make it easier for your audience to understand you. First of all, don't read your presentation aloud and don't memorize it. That's not a good idea. If you do that, you'll speak too fast and nobody will understand you. Instead, use notes to help you remember what to say. Some students write notes on index cards, one card for each point. If you do that, you will speak more naturally and people will understand you better. Second, make sure that you can pronounce key words. Pronunciation is very important. Check and practice the pronunciation of important words, especially names or technical terms. Now, your voice. Don't shout, but speak loudly enough so that the people in the back of the room can hear. Emphasize your important points by speaking more clearly and slowly. Pause after each main point. This gives the audience time to process what you are saying. Finally, don't forget how important it is to use signposting language. Phrases like first of all, second, finally, I just said that one, in conclusion, and so on. These phrases are like road signs. They make it much easier for people to follow your presentation.
Okay, so that was really short, but what I was hoping you could do was pick out a few things that she said you should do when you're giving a speech and a few things that she said you should not do. Okay, so Carolina, can you start? Can you share with me something that she said that you should do when you're speaking?
She said that the voice should be loud enough, pause at each point, use signpost,
Hmm.
and the pronunciation.
Yeah, practice the pronunciation.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so your voice should be loud enough that people in the back of the room can hear you, but we don't have to worry about that because we're online. But so speak loud enough where people can hear you and also speak clearly. Practice the pronunciation. Use signposts. Okay. Can anybody else add something that she said we should do?
Not memorize that.
Right. She said, yeah, that's something she said do not do. But we're talking about what you should do. You should say important points clearly and slowly. So say your important points clearly and slowly. And then she said to pause after you say a main point. Pause just means to stop and wait like 2 or 3 seconds and don't say anything. Okay, so that would be like if I say, first of all, animals should be taken care of at all times. The reason I think this is because blah, blah, blah. You see, I paused after I said my first point. It's kind of like a 2 or 3 second silence, and that gives the listeners a chance to kind of catch what you said and remember it, okay? So say your important points clearly and slowly, and then pause after each main point. Okay, so that's a couple of things she said that we need to do. What is something that she said we should not do? Can anybody remember that? Can anybody
Not
remember what? Yeah, go
not
ahead.
not memorize. Uh,
We, sh- we should not forget your side pointing language.
Yeah, we should not forget to use. So we should use signposts.
Yeah,
Um,
we should use side pointing. Yeah.
and
We
she,
should shout. We should not shout.
right, good. We should not shout.
Shout.
So she said, don't shout. Lucia, she said, don't memorize what you will say. She said, don't memorize what you will say. And remember, Carolina asked that question at the beginning of class. Is it okay to read? And remember I said, don't read every word and don't memorize what you will say. Okay, so good. Anything else? Can anybody remember something else?
Write notes, teacher.
Yeah, she said to make sure you have some important notes so you remember what you need to say. Yes, that's good. Okay, very good. Any other questions or comments about that speech? Okay, so you ladies did really good today. I'm so thankful that you came and gave it your best today. And so we're going to end here. Your homework is going to be, and let me put it on the whiteboard so you can see it. Your homework is going to be to do page 35.
35.
Page 35 has a listening practice.
No.
No, you said no?
Yes.
Oh.
Judge.
Okay,
Listening. Read.
yeah, listening practice, page 35. It's not long at all. It's just it's actually audio 1.1 again. It's just to practice listening and filling in the notes. You guys have a listening quiz that you also need to do.
Oh.
The
So you're going,
listening is also for Friday, right,
yes,
teacher? Okay,
yes.
okay.
Okay, and I'm putting it up here. So all of these things, um, the page 35, you can just do that before our next class. So you can do page 35 this weekend if you want. The lab assignment and the listening quiz is due at the end of the day, Friday. Okay. And on your listening quiz, they will ask you to listen and fill in the blanks. It looks a lot like page 35, where you listen and you're kind of filling in the blanks based on the notes of what they're talking about. Okay, so and if you guys want to, I can post the answers to page 35 in the reading assignment. Let's see, it would be reading assignment. I think it's number 5 in Blackboard. If that helps you guys, I can do that.
Thank you, teacher.
Yeah. Is there anything else, any other questions you ladies have about homework today?
Teacher, the listening quiz is in Blackboard. It's the chapter 1 quiz.
Yes.
Okay.